Space, the final frontier. We have seen many stories about the wonders of space, from a group of astronauts being exposed to cosmic rays to a god being banished to Earth to learn humility. But this story is much different. This is the story of Rom. Rom came from a planet a few systems away from yours called Galador. Galador was a planet located at the heart of the Golden Galaxy. Its inhabitants were known for their wisdom and skill in trade. Each earned them a warm welcome in other worlds. However, everything changed during a trade mission to the Dark Nebula, when the Galandorian fleet was brutally attacked and annihilated by the Dire Wraiths, a hostile species whose home planet, Wraith World, was located at the center of that star system. After the massacre, the Wraiths orchestrated a coup with the intent to conquer the Golden Galaxy and eventually Galador. With their fleet destroyed, the Galadorians were left virtually defenseless and were forced to make extreme decisions. They called upon their people to sacrifice their humanity and undergo a surgical process that would transform them into cyborg warriors, the Spaceknights, capable of facing the Wraiths. Rom was the first to volunteer, and another 1,000 followed him. When the enemy arrived, an epic battle broke out in Galador's orbit. Although the Dire Wraith fleet vastly outnumbered the newly formed Space Knights, the latter fought with fierce determination, driven by the desperation to defend their home and loved ones. Just as the Wraiths were losing ground, they invoked their most lethal weapon, a living creature known as Deathwing. Born from the black sun of the Dark Nebula, the monster nearly turned the tide in favor of the Wraiths, but Rom, in a heroic act, managed to kill it. With no other options left, the Dire Wraiths retreated. Wraithkind was pursued all the way back to their homeworld, where Rom himself dared alone to face the horrors of Wraithworld. As a last gasp defense, the Wraiths cast a spell that caused Rom to see Wraiths everywhere, allowing them time to escape and disperse throughout the universe. His fellow Space Knights of the Space Knight Squadron were able to break the spell Rom was under and rescue him from the now deserted Wraith world. Rom then decided that the Dire Wraiths needed to be hunted down rather than be given time to regroup or harm other worlds. Rom would work in concert with fellow Space Knights Starshine and Terminator on a number of missions. On one such mission, Terminator, in a fit of bloodlust, slew the ruler of the Archons. Rom and Starshine bore witness at Terminator's trial on Galador, where he was sentenced to be slain by Galador's living flame. 200 years later, and now operating alone, his chase of Wraithkind led Rom to Earth, where at first his mission was mistaken as a marauding menace, randomly killing humans. He initially came into contact with the Earth woman, Brandy Clark, who was skeptical at first, but believed Rom after witnessing events proving the Wraith's existence in her hometown of Clariton, West Virginia, where the Wraiths had established a secret stronghold. Later, Brandy's boyfriend, Steve Jackson, also became an ally. After capturing Steve Jackson, a Wraith assumed his form and was about to marry Brandy, when Rom, who had developed feelings for her and had no idea that Steve had been replaced, burst in to stop the wedding. Shortly thereafter, the real Steve Jackson entered the church and shot the Wraith imposter, who turned to ash in front of the townspeople, proving to all that the Wraiths were indeed real and had infested the town. From that point on, the populace of Clariton became Rom's staunchest allies. Now the hero of West Virginia, Rom vows to guard it from threats in our world. Years later, after the contest of champions, Rom notices that something is off, as Sif arrives to tell Rom that a dark evil is coming, and the Guardians must reunite.